Good morning, student. Am I audible perfectly and my screen is visible? Thank you, student. Let's we just wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Most of students join, and then we start our lab sessions. So let's start with a revision of last lab sessions, okay, where we go through a previous take, and then after we move to our current topic. Now, in the last lab sessions where we learned the B take, that is the meaning of a bold, where you can represent the font into the bold statement. Then after next take, that is I for italic, where you can represent the font into the italic style. So whatever you have to write inside the I take, that is the affected as italic style. Then next, that is the U take, meaning of U take underline. For example, if you represent some point as a underline, so at that time you can use the take that we called a U take. Inside the U take, whatever you have, right? That is the represent as a underline. Next take, that is the P take. Now the meaning of a P take that we called a paragraph. It means your previous sentence, it will be completed and then you have to redirect into the new statement. So that is the meaning of a P take, where it's put a paragraph. Then next take, that is the BR. Now the meaning of BR, so that we called a break the line. It means your previous line it will be completed and then now you redirect into the new line. So that is the take that we called a BR, a break the line. Now next take that we have a font take. Now in a font take we have a first attribute, that is the size. Now the size input that you have to take 1 to 7, and that is the in increasing order. 1, that is a too small size, then 2 again increase, 3 again increase, and if you go for 7, so that is the maximum large size. Next attribute that we see that we called a font face, where we can represent that style also, that we called a font face. Then after next tag we next attribute that we have a color. Now the color that represent via two method. The one method that directly you write down that color name, red, green, blue, yellow, purple as per your requirement. And the second method that is regarding hexadecimal representations, the where you have to start from hex and then after the sixth alphabet combinations, and that alphabet input it's a to f, or we call a number combination 0 to 9, and that is the representations from a effect of RGB, red, green, and blue. It means the first two letter, so it's represent a red effect, next two that is a green, and then after last two that is the blue. So that is a three attribute in a font take, where you can change your size, style, as well as the font color. Then we see the one property that we called a BG color. It means we also apply the background color, and that is the tag that we associate with a body tag. So in a body tag, we have write down one attribute, that is a BG color. Then next we see a link tag. in a link tag where we have to redirect on a specific web page. Like you have to create a home page, product, login, contact us. And if user click on that label, so it's a redirect on that web page. And meaning of the link tag, we have to start from href. The full form of href, that is a hypertext reference where we have to provide it that web page name with that extension. So that is the example, like if you create for Mara University like a GTU. Then next tag that we see the image tag, how we insert the image into the web page. So it is start from img, then after src. And now the meaning of src, that we called a source address, and where we insert that image name with that extension. But you have to remember your HTML file and image file should be available in the same location. If it's not available in a same location, then you have to provide it that entire path of that image, then after that image name and extension. So that is the revision for a last lab session. So let's we continue with image tag, and then we see that a different attributes. Yes, Soham, I will also speak in Hindi. My screen is visible, browser and notepad file. So let's we continue with image tag. Image src equal to file name. Now you can see in my screen that is my HTML file, a basic, and that is the file GTU logo one that I have to add in my web page. So now you can see both it's available in a same folder. I have directly write down that image with that extension. The extension that is the PNG. So now you can see the out have added a GTU logo file through the image tag. And again, as I repeat, maybe file it's available in a different location. So like I have write down D, then slash ABC folder, then CD folder, and then after file name. It means you have to provide it that a file where it will be a okay header. I would suggest you to store the file with the same locations. You have to directly write down image with that extension. Let's we go for that other attribute. So now we have next attribute that we call width and height. So now width and height use of that attribute, you can resize your image, or we call you can adjust your image as per your requirement. Like if you increase the size, if you decrease the size, so that you can do with the help of the two attributes that we call width and height. So let's we go for that example. Width I have set initially 100 pixels, and height again I have set like 100 pixels. So now you can see the output. It's a small size represent of the image based on the 100 pixel input. Same way also you can increase, like it's a too smaller, like I was at 200 pixels. Again you can see it's a increase. Again if you like set some horizontal, if you increase it, so that we like increase the width, and also reduce the height, so that also we set it. So now that is, you can say it's look like a logo of a GTU, Gujarat Technological University. So based on your width and height, where you can adjust your image size, or that we call adjust the image or resize the image as per your requirement. Now here we have two possible input. One, as I said, we have to take a input of the that pixel, and the second input that we take from the percentage. So these are the image attribute that we see today. So as I write down, you can see one, we have to take a x, that is the meaning of a pixel, and second you can see the sign of the percentage. You also write down the percentage with respect to your screen resolutions. You have a two possible input where you have to adjust your image. Again same in height, again you have to go for like input of pixel, or either you go for that percentage also. Yes, there is a question from sir, what is the large size of a height and width? So you can enter any maximum size of the width and height, but maximum it's represent your based on the your screen resolution. You can insert like 1000, 2000, 3000 one, but it just blur your image size. So I have to suggest you have to use whatever that have a natural size of that image. Also we are aware about like 720 close 1080 pixel size, 1290 something like 1080. Then again if you go for higher resolutions, so that you can set any width and height from based on your actual image, or based on your that image quality. It's a graphics file high level, or it's a regular size of image. You can set any input for width and height, but if you set like more than 5000, 6000, so it can be blur your image. So I would suggest you just go for the actual size of your browser and your requirement. I hope you get the answer. And it's depend on image. If you go for that property where you can see your that image size, what is the actual that width as well as the that height. So let's we like check for percentage. If like I was said 20%, again width I have set like 30%. Now you can see it's minor change, but like I have said 50%, and that also 50%. Now you can see it's a increase. There is a question, sir. Mobile માં perform કરી શકાય this program? Yes, Sohan. In the last lab, I see one editor. If you remember, W3 School. Then we go through HTML. and where you can try your own practice for the all HTML tag. Again, at the end of the lab, I also show that a demo. Right now, let's just go for that a demo how you can use in your mobile. So now again, I repeat, in your mobile, you have to just open any browser, or you can go for a Google search. Now in a Google search, you have to just write down W3 School space HTML. Again, I repeat, you have to search on Google W3 School, then a space HTML. Now you have to click on a first link that you have to receive. Now in this website w3school.com and HTML tutorial, you have to just go for a scroll down where you can get one button, try it yourself. You have to just click on that button, try it yourself. So here you can see that is the editor of a HTML tag where you can do a practice. Here left hand side you have to write down that tag, and whatever output that you can see, sorry, left hand side you have to write down tag, and right hand side here you can get that result. Like I also one demo, for example, use H2 tag, and then I have to click on a run button. Now you can see H1, H1, H2 and paragraph it's a generated. So that we called a editor, and that also you can try in your mobile also. So you can insert the input of width and height either percentage or either pixel. As per the requirement, you can adjust it. Now you also insert multiple image in your web browser, in a web page as per your requirement. Like I have to insert another image. So first of all, you have to download that image. I have already downloaded few Marad University logo file. So now you can see I have another image that is a Marad University logo. Now that I have to add into the my web page. Again, it's both available in the same locations. I have directly write down that image name with extension. Now you can see two image it will be added in my web browser. One is GTU logo and another that is a MU logo. Now the next attribute that we have a border tag. Now the input of a border that is represent surround the image, or that we called outside the image, it's generated the border. So let's we go for that border attribute. Like I said, in GTU border equal to 10. Now you can see the output. It's a 10 thickness border. It will be a created. Same way to like I have created in MU logo, 5 border thickness. Here you can see easily compared. That is the 5 pixel thickness border. It's a created, and the default color border that is the black. It's a repression. It is the outside the image, or that we called a surround the image. It will generate the border. based on your input of the pixel. So that is the attribute that we called a border. Now next we have attribute that we called a edge space. Now the meaning of edge space that we called a horizontal space. So where you can put a left hand side through that space, and that input you have to take into the pixel. Let's we go for that output. Now edge space is equal to, like I said, a 50 pixel. So now you can see image, it will shift after the text, and that is the space that we called a edge space. And it is the meaning of horizontal put a space. Same way to, like if I go for 100 pixel, now you can see it's a present 100 pixel shifted. So that we called a take of a edge space. Next that we have a similar take that we called a V space. Now the meaning of V, so that we called a vertical put a space. Again that input we take into the pixel. And that put a space from the browser is a topmost side. So let's we write down this space. Again input in a pixel. Now you can see it's a 50 space, it's a present that we called a V space. There is a questions from student how to rotate a logo 360 degree. That's why we have to add one concept that we called a CSS, a cascading tile set. Using, you can make your website a more iterative. You can apply a more number of division where you can use a marquee functions. You can rotate your image where you can put a graphics file also. So that all effect, if you are required, so you can use one more advanced level concept that we call a CSS, which is integrated with a HTML language, or that we call with a programming, a PHP programming language. So that's why you use a concept of a CSS where you can get it. And that all detail where you learn in your further higher semester in a fifth and sixth semester where you have a subject of a web programming. Because right now we just go for only basic tech, but in your higher semester when you have that a subject of PHP language where you can learn in detail of each and every tag. Now the next, how can we put animations in websites? Again, that is a concept of same CSS where you can put animations, GIF file, same rotation of the image. That all concept you can put use of the cascading tile sets. And you are the a computer student or in a further semester where you can learn it. And you have in a syllabus a PHP subject where you can learn in details, because right now we have just only a overview regarding for the practical one. That's why we not go in details. Like I have said 100 pixels. So now you can see again it's a shifted. So that is the space that a concept we called a vertical space. So now you can see that is the different, it called a edge space, horizontal, and that is the space we put between here. So that we called a V, vertical space. Now the next attribute that we have a align. Now in a align where you get a five, sorry, where you represent a five different input. The one input that is a top, second middle, and third a bottom. So that three input it with respect to a image. It means your image it will be a stable, fixed, and your text align that will be a change with respect to a image. Either they have represent top, either middle, or either bottom. And the next two attribute that we have a right and left. So in this, the image position it will be a change, right? That means the right hand side it's a represent, and left. So in this left hand side it will be a represent. So let's we check for that. Now align equal to top. Now you can see the text that is represent at a top with respect to a image. So that we called align is equal to top. Next, like we see for a middle. So now you can see the text that is represent exact a middle with respect to a image. And then after next that we have a bottom. Now you can see the text that is the represent at the bottom level. These are the three align top, middle, and bottom where your image it will be a fixed positions and your text it will be a change. Now next align that we have a right hand side. Now you can see the output your image it will be shifted to a right hand side. So that we called align right. Same way to like if you said image on left hand side. Now you can see that is a represent the image as a left hand side. So these are the five align input: top, middle, bottom, right, and left, which you have to use it. Now any query in image tag or that attribute. So let's we continue with another take. There is a question. Is a CSS in our course? No, in a first year workshop subject, CSS is not your part of the course. Before you have to learn all PHP tag in detail. Then you have to, then after you have to able to know the CSS concept. And it's a take a 6 month time to learn entire semester. And we have to just only 2 hours, one practicals. Because you are the computer student, you have to learn in a fifth and sixth semester where you have subject of web programming, where you can learn in detail all PHP concept, that database connections, how you can host the website live, how you can apply a different graphics, that effect. Right now you can see that all actual website. same website you can design in your fifth or sixth semester. Don't worry, I know you have to eager to learn that whole concept. Now the next tag that we have a unordered list. So first of all, we know the two category of a list. The one that is a unordered list, and the second that we have a order list. Okay, next questions from student. Python language क्या से mouse that is in fifth semester where you have to a Python subject. Again, I repeat, in a fifth semester GTU syllabus, you study a Python programming, Python subject. So now next that we have a list tag, and list tag where we have a two category. One that is unordered list, and next that we have a order list. Now meaning of order list where you can see the output, it's represent into the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4 and continue. And where you can see the output of unordered list, it's represent as a disk. So that is the difference between unordered list and order list. So let's we go for unordered list first. Now you can see the out disk, it's represent in unordered list. Now in unordered list, we have one category that we called attribute type. And we have three possible input. One that we call a disk. So here that is the output of disk. Then a circle, so that is you can see it's a represent of circle. And then after next that is the square. So that three attribute where you can use it: disk, circle and square. Let's type equal to, I have write down a circle. So now you can see it's represent a circle. Same way like I go for square. So that is you can see the represent is a square. And if you not represent any, so it's a default represent as a disk. Let's we go for the next attribute. We have a order list, OL. So first of all, we have to start OL tag. In OL tag that we have to start LI. Now the meaning of LI that we called list of item. And then again at the last we have to close the OL tag, and that is the output where you can see it. So now that is the way you can see the easily comparison between unordered list and order list, where you can see the sequence number 1, 2, 3, 4 continue, and unordered list where you can see the disk. Just 2 minutes student wait, I have one emergency call. Thank you, student. Let's we continue. Sorry for 2 minute disruption. There is a one questions. How to apply a background image? Now, if you apply the background image that is associated with a body tag also, and we have another option that we have one tag that we call a division tag. Also, you can use a division tag, and where also you can apply the image in a background, and also you go for the body tag where we have one attribute, and that also you can add a background image. So let's we continue next tag that we have a DL. First of all, we go for that attribute of order list. So where we have 5 attribute in a order list. If you represent a small I, so it's represent a small letter Roman number, then capital I, so that is a capital letter of Roman number, then small a, that is a small alphabet sequence, capital A, capital letter sequence. And if you not represent any, so default, that is a digit sequence. Now, for example, if I have used type equal to small I, now you can see the output, it's start with a Roman number. Same way to like capital I, it start from that capital sequence of Roman number. Small a, then it is a small alphabet sequence. Same way to capital A, that is a capital alphabet sequence. And if you not represent any, so it's a represent default sequence number. Now the next tag that we have a definition list, DL. So first of all, we have to start a DL tag, a definition list. Then we have to start a DT, meaning of DT, a definition topic, where we have mentioned a topic of that definitions. Then after the D, the meaning of DD that we call a definition descriptions. So here we have to mention that descriptions regarding that topic. Then we have to close a DD. Then after we close a DT tag, then we start again. If you require another tag, if you topic add, that also you have to add that descriptions, and that again close the DT, and at the end you have to close a DL. And here you can see the output. It's how look like. So let's we go for that example. There is a question, sir, C language and Java will be in which semester? In second semester, you learn a C language, and that is a subject name that we call a PPS, a programming for a problem solving, which is offered in your second semester. And that is a teach by computer faculty where you can learn a C language. And Java that you learn in a fourth semester where we have subject object oriented programming with Java. So let's we go for that example. Now you can see the output. The definition list, it will be a represent. Like for example, we have to represent some real-time definitions. Then how it look like? Let's we go for that a demo. Like for example, I have to represent computer definitions. Now you can see the output. Computer, so an electronic machine that can store, find, arrange information, calculate amount, and control other machines. So that is the way where you can represent your topic, and regarding that topic descriptions. And that is the tag that we called a DL, definition list. So let's we move to another take. Now the next tag that we have a table tag. Now once you insert the table, at that time you have to remember the 2 points. The first point, that is a table which is created by row, and in the row the data that is represent a left hand side to a right hand side. It means the use of the table tag. You can add a table through HTML tag in your web page. And again I repeat, it's represented by row, so where you have to create a table row, and in this you have to represent that your table data, and that data it's represent left to right hand side. So let's we go for that a demo how it's look like. First of all, as I said, you have to start a TR. Now the meaning of a TR that we called a table row. So first of all, we have to start a table tag. Then inside the we have to start a TR tag. And inside the TR that we also add one more tag that we called a TD, table data. And whatever you have to write into the table data, that is the look like and exactly represent in your web browser. So once you have to define the table tag, so you have to require a three tag. One, the first start the table tag, then you have to start a table row, and then you have to start a table data. Let's we go for that a sequence. First of all, you have to start the table tag, close the table tag. Inside the table tag, where you have to start the TR, and again you have to close the TR. Now inside the TR tag, where we have to define the TD, and whatever you have to write in a TD tag, that is exactly represent in your web browser, like cell 1 and then closing of TD tag. So now you can see the output. One cell, it will be added. Like for example, I have add one more another a TD tag. That information it's represent after the cell 1. It means, as I said, it's start the data representation from left hand side to right hand side. Here you can see cell 2, it's added same row because I'm not created another row. That's why if I created another row, and in this I have to represent, it's a represent into the next line, but I have to only created one row. So that's why it's a same row. It's a represent the data from left hand side to right hand side. Like for example, we have to create one more another row. Like you have to represent the table with a row. So it means I have to start another TR tag. Then I have to represent to again a TD tag. Then again I have to close that TR tag. And then again at the end we have to close the table tag. So let's we go for that example. Like I have to start a TR, then I have to close to that TR tag. In between, like I have to add a TD cell T. You can see second row I have only just represent the one data, so that is only represent one data. Like for example, I have another cell, then again TD cell 4, so you can see one more cell it will be added, and like without border it's not look like a table. So we also have one attribute that we called a border, that we write down in a table tag, and that is the input where we take into the pixel. Now you can see the 1 pixel thickness border it will be generated. Same way like I've said 3. And again you can see it's a 3 pixels border it will be created. So now you can see we have a modify attribute in a table, the one that is the border. So that we said input into the pixel that we already completed. Next that we have a BG color. Now the meaning of BG color, background color, and that input we take from the specific table, and it's only create that table color. Let's we check for that attribute. Like our side BG color equal to gray. Now you can see the table that is filled with a gray color. Like I have said green. So now you can see it's represent the green. Same way like if you represent the blue, you can apply any color as per your requirement. So now that is the last slide. Thank you. Now that today we completed a practical one as per the our GTU workshop syllabus, where we have a basic tag that used for the PHP language where we can easily understand. There is a questions how to apply a full screen background color that we have a take a body take that just 1 minute I give that a demo. Next question, sir. When will you share this PPT? Jaideep, I already shared that PPT in your e-content before 1 week ago. Just check your e-content. And also I said that a PPT in a Google Classroom. And now the one more important announcement that is I already put one message in WhatsApp group where you have to join a Google Classroom for the workshop subject. If you already joined, then it's a good. But if you not join, then please by end of the day you have to join that Google Classroom where we have to share a material as well as the lab manual where you have to submit in Google Classroom, and you have to specific join with institute email ID. And if you're facing any issue, then put your message in a chat box. Otherwise, you can send me the message in a WhatsApp. Next question, sir, should we make a book of this? No, for the computer workshop, only just for the 2 computer practical, you have to not require any making of the lecture note. I have a list of cheat of HTML. I also provided lab manual as well as the PPT. So I am specify only for the computer 2 practical. You have to not make any book lecture note. I already provided list of all material with in detail. You have to not require making for the workshop subject in specific to computer practical. So let's we go for one student question, how we apply a background color. So that is a body, a text where we have to write down a BG color is equal to like I have to set a 2. Now you can see your screen. It's represent entire blue color, and there is the take that we called a BG color, background color, and that we use into a body take. And just open the syllabus of workshop subject. So that is your subject code 3110012 from the GTU workshop. And if you go for the practical list, so is a software tool and OS. So that is the part of a computer. So where a student has that is a first practical, student has to build own website, consists of basic profile, his department, that personal information, and basic institute detail, where you can insert your photos, where you can represent your department name with like a phone tag, headline tag, where you can represent your personal information, first name, last name, middle name, that also all details. So today we complete official practical 1. Now in next lead we go for practical 2, where we learn the different 2 OS, that basic command. There is a question, sir, તમે જે study કરાવો છો એ PPT share નહીં કરાય. Soham, you have to check your e-content. I already uploaded that PPT. I have uploaded the PPT in your e-content. Once all students join the Google Classroom, then also I have shared the PPT in Google Classroom also. But I will just wait for the all student once they join, then we take the then I have upload the PPT in e-content also as well as the lab manual. So let's just take a screenshot of list of all joined student for the attendance purpose. So thank you, student. You can left the meeting. I already take the attendance screenshots. There is a one student, Gulam Sarwar. What is your roll number? Just put in chat box. Remaining all students, you can leave the meeting. Roll number 27. Okay.